Hi, I'm Felix, and today I will be explaining the law of conservation of mass and how it relates to chemical reactions using the popular video game Minecraft. Our three learning targets for today are: I can describe what a reactant is in a chemical reaction. 2. I can describe what a product is in a chemical reaction. And 3. I can define the law of conservation of mass and how it relates to chemical reactants. Before we begin, some prior knowledge you should know so that you can properly understand this video is the definition of the law of conservation of mass. Here is the definition. The law of conservation of mass states that mass is neither created nor destroyed by chemical reactions or physical transformations. According to the law of conservation of mass, the mass of the products in a chemical reaction must equal the mass of the reactants. Another phrase you should know is chemical equation. A chemical equation is the symbolic representation of a chemical reaction in the form of symbols and formulae, where the reactants are given on the left side and the product entities on the right. With that out of the way, let's begin with learning target 1. I can describe what a reactant is in a chemical reaction. Reactants are the substances which are present at the start of a chemical reaction. For example, when lighting a natural gas range, oxygen and methane will react to each other in the atmosphere and produce water and carbon dioxide. The chemical equation for this would be CH4 plus 2O2 equals CO2 plus 2H2O. Oxygen and methane would be the reactants in this chemical equation because they are the substances which are present at the beginning of this chemical reaction. Now that it explained reactants, here is a practice problem to make sure you understand the concept. In the chemical equation, SnO2 plus 2H2 equals Sn plus 2H2O, which is the reactant? Is it A, SnO2 plus 2H2 equal, or B, Sn plus 2H2O? You have 10 seconds to think up of your answer. Time's up. If you answered A, you are correct. With that out of the way, let's start learning target 2. I can describe what a product is in a chemical reaction. All chemical reactions involve reactants and products. Products are the substances which are produced in the reaction. The relation can generally be represented by this form: reactants, products. The reason why reactants turn into products is because bonds break in the reactants due to high levels of energy and are rearranged into different combinations, making the new substances chemically different from the reactants. If we go back to our equation, CH4 plus 2O2 equals CO2 plus 2H2O, CO2, or carbon dioxide, and 2H2O, or water, would be the products in this chemical reaction because they are present at the end of the chemical reaction are the substances produced in the reaction, of which are chemically different from the original reactants. Now that I explained reactants, here is the practice problem to make sure you understand the concept. In the chemical equation, SeCl6 plus O2 equals SeO2 plus 3Cl2. Which is the product? Is it ACl6 plus O2 or SeO2 plus 3Cl2? You have 10 seconds to think up your answer. Time's up. If you answered B, you are correct. Moving on to learning target 3. The law of conservation of mass states that in a chemical reaction, mass is neither created nor destroyed. The law of conservation of mass also states that the mass of the reactants in a chemical reaction must equal the mass of the products. The law of conservation of mass relates to chemical reactants because they have the same amount of mass and have all the atoms from before, because mass is neither created nor destroyed. An example of this would be in CH4 plus 2O2 equals CO2 plus 2H2O. As you can see, all the atoms present in the reactants are present in the products, and I can demonstrate this with a diagram I created. C equals red, H is white, and O is blue. Now, on one side over here, we have our reactants, and over here we have our products. Now, as I said before, C is red. Now, we have two reds on both sides, and white is H, so this is our CH4 going on right here. We also have 4H going on over here. We have 4 O's on this side, or 2O2. We also have 4O on this side. As you can see, mass is neither created nor destroyed. However, the two are both chemically different, but they have the same amount of mass, the same atoms, just different chemically. Now here is a review question for learning target 3. In the chemical equation, 2Fe plus 3H2SO4 equals Fe2 parentheses SO4 parentheses 3 plus 3H2. Does the reactant have more Fe than the product? A, yes, or B, no? You have 10 seconds to answer the question. If you answered B, you are right, because according to the law of conservation of mass, mass is neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction, making the amount of Fe over for our reactants equal to the amount of Fe in our product. As I conclude this video, I would like to go over the topics we had discussed today. We discussed reactants, which are the substances present at the beginning of a chemical reaction, products, which are the substances created by a chemical reaction, and the law of conservation of mass, where matter can neither be created nor destroyed. If you wish to do some extra research, my sources will either be in the comments or the description below. And remember, if you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe to support my YouTube channel. Good night.